BDJB autoloader because we're going to be able to do everything just through the web. Now, the very first thing that I want to do is I want to show you where you can check and make sure your PS5 is on the correct firmware. So we can see right here in console information, mine is setting at 12.00. Now, if yours is higher than that, then just hang tight. But for those of you that is on 12.00 and under, you can start taking advantage of this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to begin by assuming that you have nothing set up on your machine. And how you're going to activate this is by going over here to settings, and you're going to want to go to network. And you can see I've already got a network connection there. But if we come over here into settings and then set up internet connection, you're going to want to make sure that whatever network that you're attached to here, you are using a custom DNS. So I'm going to take the options menu and go into advanced settings, and I'm going to scroll down here, and you'll see for DNS settings, I have my set to manual, and then I have the IP address of 62.210.38.117 as my primary DNS. Yours will need to look just like that. So once you press OK on this, give it just a second or two, and it will come back saying that it has failed. So if you see this message, this is normal. It just means that your PlayStation 5 can't connect to Sony's servers. So now that you have that, go ahead and press the circle button, and then we're going to scroll up here to the top to guides and tips, and we're going to press X on that, and then guides and tips, and then user guide. And on the user guide, you will see Echo Stretch's site. At this point, come up here to the very top, and what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of everything inside of this, and we're going to type in https://jordy.idk.github.io/slotkit, and then we're going to select go down here at the bottom. And right there, you'll see it, just this little cat, and it says run right here. So let's go ahead and click on run. And if you see these messages coming through, then it is working. And so we'll see if this one is successful or not. And right there, this one was not successful. Now, I'm going to leave this all in the video this time because I want to let you know it's not 100% stable. Now, I will tell you this is the very first time that I've encountered this not working, but let me go ahead and we'll reboot and try again. I've rebooted, so let's run it again. And there it goes. We can see a lot more happening this time than the very last time, and boom, there we go. We've got our ELF loader listening on port 9021. Notice that the cat has turned green versus being red when it did not work. Okay, and so from here, it's got some payloads that we can go ahead and run. So let's go ahead and turn on the FTP server as an example here. So we can see now we've got our FTP running on port 2121. There's also a remote debugger in here, Klog server, a shell server, and then of course a web server. Now if we wanted to go ahead and send over KStuff, for example, we could use my application Universal Payload Sender or another application like this, and just go ahead and pick KStuff and make sure you've got your PS5's IP address here, as well as the port number, and we can go send payload here. And right there, you can see it says payload sent successfully, and then we can see our debug message that states that KStuff is now running. And so from here, I could obviously go ahead and send over Shadow Mount Plus, and you can see payload sent successfully. And then right up there at the top, we've got Shadow Mount Plus synchronizing all of our different games. So if we just go ahead and press the PlayStation button here, you can see now, if I come back over here and maybe I decided that I want to play a game, let's just go ahead and pick Ninja Gaiden. So let's go ahead and click on that. You can see it says game backported here. And there we go. We've got our game running using just this brand new WebKit exploit. We didn't need to use any sort of BDJB disk or anything like that. And this is just absolutely amazing that we're able to do this right now. But before we leave this section, I did want to call out that I did a bit of exploring with this after I recorded the video, and I have noticed that if you do use Zackos hosts, you do have access to paste up, so it is already added in there, and so you wouldn't have to go in and manually send over the payload just like we did just a moment ago. Now, the URL to this, in case you want to go to this page, is just zecoxao.github.io and then /slotkit. So you can definitely head over to that URL if you do want to get the one that's got case stuff already included. And so you might be asking yourself, is there an easier way to run this in the future? Well, since you're already jailbroken, there is a way to run this a lot easier, and you won't have to come in here and wait for all of this and then especially type it again. You can go ahead and get this package, and it is just called Internet Browser. So I'll leave a link to this package file, and now it's just going to be as simple as copying it to a USB drive, and then you can come over here to settings and then scroll down to the bottom, and right there is debug settings, which is enabled with this. You could go to game, and then we would go to package installer, and it would be something like this one right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this. We can take a quick peek at it. So here you go. You can see that as I've been using this, here's a few of the sites that I have been to in the past. So in order for us to get this new one in here, we need to go ahead and type it one more time. So again, we would need to type it in here, and do keep in mind, it does not matter if you use the HTTP or the HTTPS. So I'm going to hit done here, and now once I do that, I can go over here to search, and it will go ahead and bring that up. We obviously don't need to run that again, so I'm just going to go back to the main screen, and we're going to go back into the web browser, and now you can see we've got it in our history. So we could come over here and put a star in it, and now anytime we wanted to go back to that page or to re-jailbreak after a reboot, we could just simply come right here and then press the X button on it, and there it goes. It loads up. Now, I did want to go ahead and include a third option here, and that is that you can absolutely just host this on your own machine. Now, the full source code is over here on GitHub, and you could just come right here and then just go ahead and download the zip file, because it contains all of the HTML files and everything that's needed to serve that page. Now, you can easily serve this with something like Python, and there's a couple of other tools out there, but anyways, just wanted to call this out as a third option to host it. Okay, so anyways, I hope that helped everybody out there. I will say just to give this a couple of days and let a few of the bugs and the kinks get worked out of it. I know there's still a few things that is wrong with it, but I do see that there's quite a bit of discussion going on behind the scenes to fix it. So anyways, go ahead and enjoy this if you would like, but as the process gets easier, you know where to stay tuned to, and that is this channel. Anyways, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael